What's up, y'all? We are out here at the $1 Million Pool for our last major foundation pour. Now let's get into the video. All right, guys, so obviously some big excitement around here. We've been on site for over a year, only doing excavating and foundation work, and this is our last major placement of basically the whole project. We have some ancillary stuff like steps and things of that nature, but what you're looking at here is this whole house is going to expand out behind me. The kitchen's expanding, the living room's expanding. We have a new entry above the supercar garage. If you've been following along, you've seen all the retaining walls and the backfill that we've had to do. Now we're getting all this concrete poured, so then we can start structural steel and move into framing. But if you look at this, there's 3 separate areas. There's also existing structures since this is a renovation. So, Mr. Buchanan, would you tell us some of the complications of us finding slab heights versus finished floor heights and matching that all up, and why this isn't just as easy as going here and pouring concrete?
Yeah, working around existing structure is always super tricky. You have to take into account what was there and what comes next. And because we have multiple different slabs, we want them all to plane out at the same elevation. We need to take into account what our finished floor buildup is going to look like, what kind of subfloor size we're using, and making sure that our wood framing is actually going to match our concrete structure and our finished floor elevation there as well. So like John said, this is our kitchen. We had our first kind of like in slab plumbing that we had to get laid out. We've got an existing slab that we had to tie into. Getting all this to plane out really takes some forethought between the construction crew and the project management team to make sure that what comes next is actually going to work. It's really cool to see this like final placement and actually see where the house is going to land. This is a huge slab, big day.
Yeah.
Long time in the making for sure.
Mr. Buchanan, tell us a little bit about what makes this pour a little more unique than a regular pour. And I see the guys, they're pouring their way out here. What's going to happen after that we're pouring after this section?
Yeah, so 2 things. We got to tie into the existing structure, which is always kind of tricky. You have to take into account what was structurally there and what you're tying it into. So we have some existing retaining walls.
A massive retaining wall.
1 inch thick.
Entire wall, 1 foot thick.
1 foot thick. Cut that. 1 foot thick.
This whole entire half of the house right here, it's all below grade, right? So this is a retaining wall across the whole thing. We have to tie in, you see all the dowels for our rebar?
Yep.
We're doweling into that retaining wall and connecting these 2.
Yep, and this is also like more of a slab on grade placement compared to like a lot of our walls that we've been placing. But the slab on grade is actually still 12 feet above our finished floor downstairs, which is wild. So at one point, you know, we had all of our waterproofing and this was just a hole in the ground. So we had to build this up, we had to compact it, we had to get inspections from our engineers to make sure that what we were burying is all approved. So this is a little bit more of like a process slab on grade compared to just like what you see at your house where you have your slab on grade and you're done. Lots of details, you're tying into the existing structure, we got the waterproofing below it, all of our elevations have to pan out. This was definitely one that took a little bit more thought than just a regular slab on grade.
Yeah, and just imagine, you go out there, you're on the dirt, there's nothing below your home. You just dig out your grade beams, you place your foundation, you're done. Here, we are literally on top. We're pouring a slab on grade above our basement area. All of the different complications that we had to line up to this point has just been time. I mean, it's been months and months of just excavating, getting the retaining walls in, getting the drainage in. Come on in. Come in the conference room. Let me tell you, Ends is doing their biggest special ever. 25% off for Black Friday. Let me tell you about it. Like I said, Ends Pouches is doing a Black Friday special. 25% off, and I am trying to get the word out to as many people as I know. Now, we all know Christmas is coming up. Talk about a stocking stuffer. Give the gift of Enzergy today. Why do I like Ends? See, I was a big vapor. I was a big nicotine pouch user. I was getting headaches. It was throwing me off my game. I took out all the trash, and I'm solely focused on 50 milligrams of caffeine per pouch. Keeps me going all day. Go on over to endspouches.com, put in promo code Black Friday, get 25% off all the way from Thanksgiving Thursday to that following Monday. Once you try this stuff, guys, you will love it. Thank me later.
I think it's a great point is that you know, we've been talking about the big picture and thinking about how all these elevations work together, but it's also looking at the systems around it, the waterproofing, the gas, the plumbing, all that things and how they come together. And that's why a good builder will always be looking months ahead on how these things are interacting with each other, because it's super important. So something also that we're doing today is we're also placing our footing for our entry stairwell. And our entry stairwell is a system of floating concrete steps. Really cool, but we have this massive CMU, or concrete masonry unit wall, that sits on a footing. And that footing is going to carry some stone looters and all these kind of architectural pieces. So lots of details around the front entry stairwell, footing going down today.
And those treads are literally, if the wall's like this, they're going to just be anchored in and be floating out. So it's going to look really, really cool.
It's like a floating Z shape. It's going to be
awesome.
Beautiful.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about too is the most simple thing is whatever we're doing here cannot damage anything below. You do not have to take that into consideration when you're just doing a regular slab on grade with nothing below it. But we have all the waterproofing on all of these walls to work with. We have drain pipes, we have plumbing, we have the whole entire structural component of this existing wall. So we're just thinking of all those things. If we had this whole entire job scoped out from day one, we would have done it in the exact opposite order. All the stuff on that side would have come last. We would have started this way, worked our way out, and did all of that. Now, it doesn't really matter in essence of like everything's done correctly, everything's fine, but I think the order of operations would have just made the site a lot easier to work with. We could have had all of that area down there for like staging and huge equipment, and it would have just been a lot more efficient for us. But we're here now, we've done it right, and we're gonna continue to push forward.
Definitely backed ourselves into a little corner, but you know, we made it work, for sure. Yeah, so last pour is super exciting, but our job is to make sure that the project's flowing, right? We don't have too much downtime, that people are ready to rock. So right now we're working on two of the main components, which are structural steel and our windows. You got to think about the structural steel is it's going to hold up all of our wood framing and our roof. And this house gets a lot of steel. I mean, we're going to have a crane out here at one point to set some of this stuff. It's big time steel package.
And not to mention, so we have shop drawings, right? For the structural steel and the window shops. We send those to the architects so they can work together, because we're gonna have steel beams around this whole area that windows are butting directly into. So if that beam is too low or too high, the whole reveal of the window is completely off. So again, we're not even gonna get these windows for like, what, 4 months?
Yep, 4 or 5 months. And steel starts in, you know, another month, but you're thinking about how these pieces come together already, which is, you know, really hats off to the team for thinking ahead, but also like working with our engineers and architects and our designers from the window company to make sure that everything is stitching together properly months in advance. It takes some really critical thinking and good planning, but when it comes together, it's beautiful.
The other thing is this structural steel package is going to be one to be reckoned with. You are not gonna wanna miss this. We're gonna document all of it. I mean, it is super intense. Massive beams, some of the biggest and longest beams that we've worked with, and not just like one at a time. There's like 20 of them.
Huge cantilevers, massive pieces. I mean, this is, it's, if you thought the boat dock was something, I mean, this is gonna blow it out of the water. All right, guys, so throughout our projects, got a lot of concrete coming in, and more recently, we've been turning to the Carranza team. I'm here with Manuel. Good to meet you, man. Thanks for coming out. You know, it's always good to know the people that are supplying the material kind of pick their brain on what they're doing and their processes. And, you know, we were just chatting about how you're here and how you got started. So what brought you to this point in your career with owning your own concrete mixing and delivery service?
We were doing the same type of work, finishing. I didn't really like the hard work. I just decided to start with one truck, and I was actually selling the concrete to my dad because he was the one doing the concrete. I was actually driving the truck, you know, I was just driving it.
One truck?
One truck.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard, you know, because, you know, some customers,
Spacing.
yeah. And then, but I would let the customer, like, hey, I only have one truck. Do you mind? No, don't worry about it. You know, just we have time to work with the one truck. One of my friends, he had an extra truck. He wasn't using it. You know, he sold me my second truck. Now it was a little bit easier now with two trucks, you know.
Get your spacing right,
Yeah.
make sure you're delivering a little quicker.
Yeah, and then getting more customers. I started growing it up a little bit. Customers were requesting line pumps.
I think it's good to know In a concrete company, you usually have a supplier, and then a lot of the times you also have someone who like rents equipment or shows up with a pump.
Yeah.
But you show up and you kind of do it all, right? You've got the mud, you've got the pumps, you bring the hoses, like you're kind of supplying everything you need.
I was just trying to give them the customer like a full package.
Smart, man.
So that way you don't have to be calling 2-3 different people. They say, man, I don't want to be dealing with the pump guy. I just rather, you know, get everything with you because I know everything's gonna be on point, everything's gonna be on time, and less
There's
issues.
a problem, they call you, right?
Yeah, they just call me directly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to go through 2 different people.
How many trucks do you have now?
Right now we have 6 trucks.
Typically we want to like place concrete around 90 minutes after it's batched as like a general rule of thumb, right? So
Yeah.
it's like the closer you are to the project site, the more time it gives the crews to work.
Yeah,
the
you don't
mud.
want the concrete to get hot on the truck, you know, and then you're gonna have some issues cracking and all that kind of stuff.
Starts to set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about set times and our mix times, a lot of the times in Texas, you will use ice instead of water to offset the heat. You know, it's too hot, so you can put ice in your mix. And then sometimes you can even put like nitrogen, which like literally drops the temperature a lot. Our mix design called for a 3/4 inch aggregate. We had a 3/8 inch aggregate approved because it works well at the line pump, correct?
Yes.
So a little higher slump, flows a little easier. Anything that you love about your job, man, that you want to talk about, you want to plug your stuff?
I like everything about my job. I mean, I like doing my job. I like to drive, but it's kind of hard for me to drive now
Yeah.
because I have to, you know, dispatch the drivers, customers' phone calls, and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I love what I do. I think that's why we just keep growing because, you know, I like it.
Yeah.
I like the job.
Yeah, but we like working with you, man. Thanks for chatting. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right, y'all, we had an amazing pour over at the $1 Million Pool and an even better week over here at Revent Builds. Thank each and every one of you for following along week in and week out. Now, we did a community post where we did a poll. If you guys wanted to see just straight raw construction, like an ASMR video, no words, the only audio that's going down is hammering, concrete pouring, saws a whirring, etc. And there was an overwhelming yes that you guys wanted to see that. On this coming Tuesday, we are gonna be posting a video of just raw construction. And if these start taking off, we're gonna basically take all of our raw B-roll and just push it to another channel that's solely dedicated on raw ASMR construction. When you guys see it, let me know what you think. And if you want more, we can start making them longer and just compiling more B-roll and getting as much as we can. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Remember, hit that subscribe button, share this channel. We are on the way to the moon, and all of you are coming with me.